What's going on, everybody? This is Hamad International TV, and today we're going to talk about the things you need to know when visiting Qatar. Let's do it. So when you come to Qatar, you need to check the arrival process. Depending on what country you're coming from, you can qualify for visa on arrival. For example, I came from the United States. That's where my visa's from, but I actually arrived from Dubai, and it was visa on arrival. They asked me how many days I was going to be here and when I was leaving and what hotel I was staying at. After that, it took about a minute and I was in the country. So it's quite easy to get in here, visa on arrival, but it depends on what country you're coming from. They didn't require any vaccine or anything like that. Now let's talk about transportation. So they do have a very modern metro system here. I've ridden it, the train, all the way from the airport to DECC, the convention center. And then I also have taken Uber. So they have Uber here, very efficient. They have taxis as well. They have buses, modern city with Uber and a metro train. So what more could you ask for? And one of the best airports in the world. Now let's talk about safety here in Qatar. Before I arrived here, I got mixed reviews. I got people saying that you got to be careful about this, you got to be careful about that. Then when I got here, I realized that it was not really that crazy, but it is a safe country. You know, I was hearing things like, oh, watch taking pictures, don't take any pictures. You go to a tourist site, you're gonna take pictures. As with anywhere, it's the same here in Qatar. The thing is, just don't be actually taking pictures of people, like directly photographing people. That's the only thing that you're not supposed to do. If you're walking by and someone just so happens to be in your shot, that's normal. You know, it's when you focus on someone and you film them without their permission. That's the thing, okay? But when it comes to safety and doing things, it's just like Dubai. In fact, there's no real like violent crime here. I mean, as with anywhere, it can happen at any given time. No place is immune to it. But overall, one of the safest places you'll ever go, straight up. So if you have any concerns about safety, I saw it online. I understand it because you're probably reading the same things I read. I wouldn't worry about it too much because it's safe, and there's not like this over authoritarianism that you would read about online before you get here, like I did. Now let's talk about bars and drinking alcohol, caffeine, coffee. Of course, coffee and caffeine regularly seen all over the country, all over Doha too. But when it comes to bars, those are typically at hotels. Yeah, all the time at hotels. So I've seen them at my hotel, the Marriott. Pretty much every restaurant was serving an alcohol. So you're not gonna see it down at the Pearl, just walking along the marina front there. The restaurants there are not gonna have any alcohol. But if you go inside there and it's a restaurant that's attached to a hotel property, then you will see they will more than likely serve alcohol. Now let me give you some facts about Qatar. So there is 2.7 million people living here. 330,000 of those are Qatari citizens. The rest are just residents who are foreign workers and other people living here. Qatar is considered the richest country on earth with the highest GDP of any other country. So that's quite amazing. It sits along the shorelines of the Persian Gulf. To the south is going to be the United Arab Emirates, and then to the north is Bahrain, and to the west is Saudi Arabia. And the name Qatar actually comes from the word Qatara, which comes from the ancient city of Zutara, which was an important major trade hub here in Qatar for foreign imports and goods that came from all around the world. Something else to know is that because it's so hot here in the summer, in fact, it's even hotter than Dubai here in Doha in the summer, there's a lot of malls. There's about 40 plus big mega malls here in Doha, and I looked online, it said there's 98 malls in all of Qatar. So it's a good escape from the heat. Now let's talk about the official language spoken here. It is Arabic, but English is widely spoken as a second language quite consistently. I would say it's at least spoken by 90% of the people here, or at least 90% of the people I came across. In fact, the more I think about it, I don't think I talked to anyone who didn't speak English. So English is widely spoken, but Arabic is the official language. Okay, now let's talk about things to do here in Qatar. So when you're in Doha, I would recommend going to the Pearl. That's a marina area, Pearl Island. Then you have the new area called Lusail, or Lusail. That's a very nice new area. They also have the stadium where they played the final for the World Cup. Then you have desert tours. That's something you should do. They also have islands in the Persian Gulf that are very beautiful to explore. You can take a tour out there. They also have old historical villages. And then they have souks, like Souk Waqif. That's a good one to go to. And the many different museums, the Islamic Museum, the Qatar National Museum, the National Library. Definitely check those out while you're here. I would say 4 days in Qatar is perfect. Now let's talk about hotels and the airport, the luxury status. So I would say that the hotels are definitely on the level of 5-star. The infrastructure all across the city, in particular the metro system, probably the newest and cleanest metro system in the world. So everything you have here is very high standards. I would say it kind of reminds me of a brand new American city. All right, now let's talk about money in Qatar. They use the currency, the Qatari Riyal. Now, $1 US equals 3.64 Riyal at the time of making this video. You're probably interested in knowing how expensive it is or how affordable it is. Considering how luxurious and grandiose this place really is, because it's quite a bit of grandeur and luxury, I found it to be very affordable. For example, the hotel I'm staying at would be a 5-star hotel in Dubai here in November. In Qatar, it's going for around $150 US to 200. Right now, that same hotel with that same kind of amenities at JW Marriott, say, is going for probably around $500 to $1,000 a night in Dubai. So it's, I would say, on average, half as expensive as Dubai. So do with that information what you will. As far as restaurants and food, I would say that's where they get you. It is quite expensive for food here. I had a watermelon juice and it was around $11 just for a watermelon juice. Now let's talk about clothing. So it is considered respectful and proper cultural respect to not be too revealing with your clothing. That goes for both men and women. However, I have been on beaches here in Doha and multiple times where I saw women in bikinis, even at the pool. So I think it's something that you should be conscious of when you're in public areas, but when you're at the beach or places where, you know, you're going to be swimming, maybe it's okay. I've seen it. I've seen many times. So it appears to be something that is laxed here, just like in Dubai. So when you go into religious places, though, you should cover up always. As a matter of fact, I don't think you have a choice. I think you have to do that. So it is good to cover up, especially if you want to be respectful and if you're a lady. But I don't think it's mandatory, because I see plenty of people walking around in shorts and a t-shirt, including myself. I'm walking around in shorts and a t-shirt. So as I'm sitting on the train here going from DECC City Center in Doha to the airport, I'm thinking about comparing Dubai and Doha. And here's what I would have to say. You get the same luxury for half the price in Doha right now. And when this whole country, or well, this city here, Doha, is complete, it might just be better even than Dubai. I know Dubai has the big towers and some mega projects, but the way the city's laid out, it's a little bit more intelligently designed in terms of efficiency. Lusail is very cool. The Pearl Marina may be even better than Dubai Marina. They may have taller towers in Dubai, but what this area of Doha reminds me of is Dubai in 2008. So that's what I have to say about the comparison. But I think Doha in the next 10 to 15 years is going to be right up there with Dubai. And when you come to Qatar, you can contact my travel guide, at least on Instagram, and ask him any questions you have. This is my friend Shaquille.
Yeah, I'm Shakil, and if you can ask any question about Qatar and about the safety, about anything, about visitor places, like visit places, you can ask me any question on Instagram, so I can give you answer anytime.
Yeah, he's been touring me around to the National Library and then Aspire and
The Cell.
Yep, that's where we're going next.
Yeah, and a lot of places here in Qatar you can do it, and it's very beautiful place, and you can come anytime, and welcome to Qatar.